The shove came from behind. Sudden, harsh, and deliberate. Maya felt hands plant firmly between her shoulder blades, propelling her forward with such force that her feet left the concrete deck of the community pool. For a suspended moment, she was airborne, arms flailing, the world tilting on its axis. Then came the jarring splash as her body hit the water, fully clothed in her favorite yellow sundress and white canvas sneakers. She plunged beneath the surface, chlorine stinging her eyes, the shock of cold water stealing her breath. Her phone, tucked in her pocket, was surely ruined. The birthday gift from her grandmother, gone in an instant of cruelty. Maya kicked her feet, fighting against waterlogged clothes, and broke the surface with a desperate gasp. Through burning eyes, she saw them. Amber Jenkins and her 3 friends, doubled over in laughter at the edge of the pool. "Oops," Amber called out, making a mockery of an apology. "Didn't see you there, Maya. Maybe you should watch where you're standing next time." More laughter, more pointing, more humiliation. Around the pool deck, dozens of witnesses. Parents reading books under umbrellas. Lifeguards who momentarily tensed then relaxed when they realized no one was drowning. Kids from school who quickly averted their eyes, not wanting to become the next target. No one moved to help. No one spoke up. The story of Maya's life for the past 3 years. She swam to the ladder, each stroke a battle against the weight of her soaked clothing. As she climbed out, water cascaded from her dress, creating a puddle at her feet. Her once white sneakers were now a dingy gray, squelching with each step. Maya's dark hair hung in dripping tendrils around her face, partially hiding the tears that had begun to mix with chlorine water on her cheeks. Amber expected Maya to do what she always did, hurry away with her head down, trying to become invisible. It was the established script of their relationship. Amber tormented, Maya retreated. Amber dominated, Maya submitted. A power dynamic as old as time, played out on the battleground of Jefferson High School and now, during summer break, at the Clearwater Community Pool. But something was different today. Something had shifted inside Maya during those moments underwater. Perhaps it was the way her lungs had burned for air, reminding her how precious each breath was. Perhaps it was remembering her therapist's words from yesterday. "Your silence protects them, not you." Or perhaps it was simply that after 3 years, Maya had finally reached her breaking point. Instead of fleeing, Maya walked with deliberate steps toward the pool house. The crowd parted instinctively, uncomfortable with the spectacle but unwilling to intervene. Maya felt their eyes following her, felt Amber's momentary confusion at the script change. She pushed open the door to the small building that housed the pool's office, first aid station, and most importantly, the announcement system. The elderly attendant looked up in surprise at the dripping girl who entered. "Oh dear, did you fall in? Let me get you a towel. May I use the microphone, please?" Maya's voice was steady despite her shivering body. "Well, that's only for official announcements, young lady. I can't just—" "It's important," Maya said, meeting the woman's eyes with such intensity that the attendant's protest died on her lips. 3 minutes, she relented, sliding the microphone across the counter. Maya nodded her thanks and picked it up, her wet fingers leaving marks on the plastic. She took a deep breath, flipped the switch, and listened to the system crackle to life. "Excuse me." Her voice echoed across the pool area, amplified and unmistakable. The buzz of conversation died down as heads turned toward the speakers. "My name is Maya Chun. Many of you just watched Amber Jenkins push me into the pool. Some of you laughed. Most of you did nothing." She paused, searching the crowd until she found Amber's face, the smugness now replaced with uncertainty. "What you might not know is that this wasn't an isolated incident. For 3 years, I've been Amber's favorite target. I've been tripped in hallways, had my books knocked from my hands, found my locker vandalized, and endured countless whispered insults. I've had lunch trays knocked onto my clothes, been excluded from parties with invitations rescinded last minute, and had rumors spread about me that cost me friendships." Maya's voice grew stronger with each word, years of pent-up pain finding release at last. "I stayed silent because I was afraid speaking up would make it worse. I stayed silent because adults told me to ignore it and bullies would go away. I stayed silent because I believed something was wrong with me that made me deserve this treatment. She took another breath, noting the uncomfortable shifting of adults who now couldn't pretend not to notice, the wide eyes of children recognizing their own experiences in her words, the flush creeping up Amber's neck. Today, when I went underwater, I made a decision. I will not be silent anymore. Not for my sake, and not for the sake of anyone else who has been where I am. Maya set down the microphone for a moment, reached into her pocket, and pulled out her phone. Remarkably, still functioning in its waterproof case. The case her mother had insisted on despite Maya's protests about the extra bulk purchase that now seemed like fate. She held up the phone for everyone to see, then brought it back to her lips alongside the microphone. For the past month, I've been documenting every incident. I have videos, text messages, social media posts, and witness statements. A hushed silence fell over the pool area as Maya stepped out of the pool house, still dripping but somehow transformed. The microphone system had carried her words to every corner of the community pool, and all eyes were now fixed on her with a mixture of shock, admiration, and in some cases, shame. She clutched her waterproof phone in one hand, her evidence safely preserved despite Amber's attempt to destroy it. What happened next stunned everyone present. Instead of approaching Amber with anger or seeking immediate retribution, Maya walked to the center of the pool deck and did something completely unexpected. She pressed a button on her phone, and suddenly the air filled with music, the same song that had been playing in the background of all the bullying videos she'd collected. This is the second part of what I need to share today, Maya announced, her voice carrying naturally now without the microphone. I'm not just here to expose bullying. I'm here to transform it. With deliberate movements, Maya began to dance. Her wet clothes still clung to her body, her squeaking shoes leaving puddle marks on the concrete, but she moved with purpose and growing confidence. The dance was one she had choreographed herself during countless hours alone in her bedroom. Hours when she'd been too afraid to go out with friends for fear of encountering Amber and her group. As Maya danced, images and videos began to play on the large screen by the snack bar, a screen typically used for community announcements and occasional movie nights. Someone from the pool staff, moved by Maya's courage, had connected her phone to the display system. The footage showed not just Maya being bullied, but other kids too, younger children, older teens, even some who had graduated, all targets of Amber's group over the years. But interspersed with these painful images were clips of the same students dancing. Some in their bedrooms like Maya, others in dance studios or backyard gatherings, each finding their own way to express and heal from their pain. Maya had spent months reaching out to other victims, creating a network of support that had operated in secret, under the radar of the bullies who thought their targets were isolated and alone. The dance continued to build, and suddenly other teens began to join Maya on the pool deck. One by one, they stepped forward, kids who had been watching from the sidelines, some who had been in the compilation video, others who had suffered in silence without documentation. Together, they moved in a choreographed routine that spoke volumes about resilience and solidarity. Parents watched in amazement. Lifeguards stood transfixed. Even the youngest children sensed they were witnessing something important. Amber and her friends, once positioned as the center of social power, now stood isolated at the edge of the pool, their influence visibly diminishing with each person who joined Maya's dance. When the music reached its crescendo, nearly 30 teens were dancing in unison, their movements a powerful declaration. We will not be broken. We are not alone. We are stronger together. As the final notes faded, Maya stepped forward once more, slightly breathless but standing taller than anyone had ever seen her before. This is what happens when we transform pain into power, she said, gesturing to the group behind her. We've been practicing this dance for months, each of us alone, connected only online. Today is the first time we've performed it together, because today we stop hiding. The applause that followed Maya's dance demonstration gradually faded into an expectant silence. The united group of former victims stood together, their presence a powerful visual statement against years of torment. Everyone waited to see what would happen next, especially Amber and her friends, who had backed themselves against the fence, visibly uncomfortable as the social dynamics they had controlled for so long dramatically shifted before their eyes. Maya took a deep breath and moved to the final phase of her plan, the part she had been most nervous about, but the one she believed mattered most. "There's one more thing I need to share today," Maya announced, her voice steady despite her still damp clothes. "Something I've learned through all of this." She walked directly toward Amber, whose face cycled through emotions: defiance, fear, embarrassment, as Maya approached. The crowd tensed, perhaps expecting confrontation or demands for punishment. Several parents moved closer, ready to intervene if needed. But Maya stopped a respectful distance from her tormentor and did something truly shocking. She extended her hand. "I'm offering you a choice," Maya said, loud enough for everyone to hear but speaking directly to Amber. "Not forgiveness, that would take time and genuine change. What I'm offering is an opportunity." From her pocket, Maya pulled out a slightly damp flyer. She held it up for Amber and the crowd to see. Community Youth Leadership Council, Anti-Bullying Initiative. "For the past 6 months, I've been working with the council to develop a peer-led program to address bullying in our schools and community spaces," Maya explained. "We've created workshops based on real experiences, many of them mine and the people standing behind me. We need people who understand bullying from all perspectives to make this work." Amber stared at the extended flyer, confusion evident on her face. "You want me to help? I want you to see what you've been doing and choose to be part of the solution instead," Maya replied. "The program needs leaders who can recognize bullying behavior because they've engaged in it. Who better than someone who's mastered those tactics?" A murmur ran through the crowd as people processed this unexpected turn. Maya wasn't seeking revenge or public humiliation. She was offering transformation. "The first workshop is Tuesday at 4 p.m. at the community center," Maya continued. "Your choice whether to come. But know this, every incident I've documented is being submitted to the school board and pool management today. There will be consequences either way. This is your chance to be part of something better than what you've been." For several long seconds, Amber didn't move. Then, with trembling fingers, she reached out and took the flyer. "I don't know if I can do this," she whispered, her carefully constructed facade cracking. "That's the point," Maya replied, her voice gentler now. "None of us knew we could do this either. Stand up, speak out, dance in public, build something new. We just decided to try." The pool area remained silent as Amber looked down at the flyer, then back at Maya. Finally, she gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. As Maya turned away, the community pool manager stepped forward, clearing his throat awkwardly. "In light of what we've all witnessed today, the pool management would like to offer our facility for your program's activities this summer, free of charge," he announced. "And," he added, looking directly at Amber and her friends, "we expect to see some meaningful community service hours from certain individuals if they wish to maintain their pool privileges." Spontaneous applause erupted around the pool. Parents approached Maya and other teens from the dance group, some with tears in their eyes, others offering support and resources. Teachers who happened to be present committed to bringing the program into their classrooms when school resumed. What had begun as a cruel prank, a girl being pushed into a pool, had transformed into the launch of a movement that would ripple through the entire community. Sometimes it takes getting pushed to your limit to discover just how limitless your impact can be.